The Canon EOS RP, the one camera that I love to hate. Now, I own this camera, I paid for this camera, and I hate this camera. This camera is in my camera bag for a reason, and the reason is it's a backup to my Canon R6 Mark II. I am a wedding photographer, and obviously as a wedding photographer, if all you that do wedding photography know, you need, even if you're not shooting weddings, to be honest, if you're just shooting anything that is paid by a client, it's always good to have a backup camera in case something happens to your main shooter. And that's what this is for me. I hate the RP. It's a camera that I will obviously get rid of in the future when I get something like the Canon R3, which will become my A camera professionally, and then my current A camera now, which is my Canon R6 Mark II, will then become my backup camera, which means there'll be no more use for the Canon RP. I don't like the Canon RP because it just doesn't sound great when you're shooting it. I think it has the worst shutter sound that I think I've ever used on any camera before. If you're in the market for a full frame mirrorless camera, then fair enough, you could argue the point that the RP is a good camera, and it is. I've got some specs written down. It is a 26.6 full frame megapixel sensor, which comes with that RF mount, so all your RF lenses will fit on that. It's got a Digi8 processor inside of it. It's okay, it's not the best. An ISO range of 100 up to 40,000, so yeah, it's got decent ISO capabilities. The max shutter speed is 1/4000th, so not the best shutter speed. It does have to, I mean, I'm shooting on the 1.8 35 today, and I've had to stop it down a few stops because it just lets in so much light, and the shutter speed can't go any faster. So yeah, 1/4000 is its max. It itself, just the body itself, is 485 grams alone, so quite a nice compact camera, quite nice and light, not too bad. I've got the 35mm STM lens on it today, so it's not the heaviest of lenses. I was thinking of bringing the 28-70, which, as you all know, is an absolute weapon, so I thought I'd go for lightness today. I just wanted to come out, get some shots here in Beaumaris and Anglesey, and just throw them up on the screen. So every photo that you've seen on the screen is taken with the Canon EOS RP. If you're looking to do something like bird photography or football or fast shutter that you need quite a high burst rate, this is not the camera for you. This has a max burst rate of 5. Yeah, just 5 on its own. No more than that, which is shit, to be honest. If you're taking photos of birds and you want to burst that shutter off, obviously, yeah, you've got a shutter speed of 1/4000, which is more than adequate enough to freeze frame, but you've only got that potential to burst 5 frames in a row before you start maxing it out. So not the best for that. So if you are in the market for the RP and we're hoping to shoot birds and fast flying birds or even football shots, then this camera is probably, I would say, avoid it. So not the best. It does have a 3-inch screen, fully touchscreen screen, and it's got an electric viewfinder, which I don't think is actually the best. It's not the worst, but it is in the lower category where I just think it is quite poor for the camera. And considering that this camera alone, just the body itself, costs £1,050, it doesn't have the greatest of specs. But it isn't Canon's biggest camera, it isn't their best camera, it's not designed to be their best. It is more than adequate enough, but I just wanted to make a video today with it because I think I've given it quite sort of a hiding over the last few weeks on YouTube. Everyone that watches this channel knows that I absolutely hate this camera, and it's one camera that like I said, I want to get rid of. Hopefully when the R3 comes, hopefully that isn't too long and too far away, but hopefully when that does happen, it will actually be sold to MPB and I can get a few quid for it, so fingers crossed. I just wanted to go out today to prove that it is a decent camera, apart from obviously the fact that it feels a lot smaller in hand compared to the sort of bigger brother of the R5 and the R6. It is actually a good camera, and I just wanted to say for any photographers out there that are looking at getting this camera or thinking about this camera, then I have to be honest with you, it is a good camera in terms of taking photos. That 26.6 megapixel full frame camera sensor inside of it does actually take fantastic images, and as I mentioned, every photo that you see today is taken on the Canon EOS RP, so it does take decent shots. I got to give it that. I've written down some things on the phone here, and obviously the likes. It does take great images, I'll give it that, so it's a tick. It's got decent autofocus. It's not the best, but that Digic 8 processor inside of it does make it quite snappy with the autofocus, so I can't sort of fault it on that really. It does feel a lot sort of different. Obviously, if I've been out shooting with the R6 compared to this, there is a massive difference and a drop in quality compared to that, but that's standard because that is such a much more expensive camera than the EOS RP. I think this is an expensive camera for what it is, and if I was in the market for a camera and I had £1,050 to spend, I'd just buy myself a Ricoh GR3. That's the camera that I'd go for. It has obviously the RF mount, so you do have a fantastic amount of lenses at your disposal. It is the full frame, so you've got more than enough sort of choice when you're looking for your first, or gathering up a few sort of lenses for it. It does have a wide variety of that. The dislikes, the shutter sound. Now if I just sort of, I don't know if you can pick up on it, that for me is the worst shutter sound that I've ever heard on a camera, period. Simple as that. It's the worst. I can't stand the sound of it. Even if at the time when I used to go out shooting and my partner Nat would use his camera, just the sound of her clicking away near me would just irritate me. I don't know why, but compared to someone like the R6 or the R5, both have amazing shutter sounds and nice haptic feedback. This thing just sounds so loud and clunky, so if you're thinking about it for weddings, just be warned that you will be heard in the churches and in the ceremonies when you're firing this off. Doesn't feel too great in hands, being it a bit smaller as I mentioned. There's no joystick, and it does have quite a small battery on it. It does have a small battery. It is rated by Canon at 250 shots, but it's way more than that. I've got 2 batteries for it, and it's done a lot more than 250 shots in a day's shooting, so not too bad. Hi there.
Thank you.
You okay, sir?
Still at it.
Still going, mate, still going. I'll be famous when I'm dead. So there's no joystick, as I mentioned, there's no joystick on this camera, so that slows things down a little bit, obviously, compared to the Canon R6. But in my honest opinion, I actually got to say, if you are looking at a camera that is worthy of starting photography and you've got that money to spend, then I would recommend the camera. It is quite a decent camera to use. I would recommend it, but personally, I just don't think I've connected very well with the camera. I haven't given it a chance. But like I said, if you're getting this for your first camera, it is going to be more than enough for you to use. So shout out there, like, so yeah, I just sort of got to say I kick it down, to be fair. I do kick down the RP quite a lot, and I shouldn't, because it is quite a powerful camera, and I was daft enough to spend £1,000 of my own money on it, so more fool me. So I spent the day shooting here in Beaumaris in Anglesey, and to be honest with you, would I recommend the Canon RP? Yes and no. I think if you're a seasoned professional and you've already got something like the Canon R5 or the R6, then I'd say no. Yeah, okay, it's a worthy backup to have if you're just throwing it in your bag and not really getting much use out of it, but it doesn't compare to the Canon R6 or the R5 in any way, shape or form. It's just not in the same league. If I would suggest it to someone who's maybe starting out in photography, would I recommend it then? I think yes, I would. I would recommend it, because I think if it's your first camera and the first sort of introduction to mirrorless, and you're looking to get something that is more than powerful, has a good choice of lenses, quite snappy autofocus, takes a good amount of shots per battery, then I think the RP is actually quite a good recommendation for you. So as much as I've sort of enjoyed walking around here today, I wish I'd had something like the Nikon ZF with me, or even the Canon R6 Mark II, because to be honest with you, I really don't like this camera. I do beat it up, I gotta say, I beat it up quite a lot on YouTube and to my friends and to people in the industry. I just don't like it, but I don't have any regrets. But yeah, as far as I'm concerned, I would recommend it, but only to a certain amount of people. Hopefully next time you come here, the Ferris wheel behind me there is going to be open so we can get some more cool shots. But I'm going to call that a wrap. I think that's enough for me for one day. Sorry to bore you, but the Canon EOS RP, I've not changed my mind on you. I still hate you. Not hate, but I really dislike you. It takes a lot of energy to hate something. So yeah, I'd recommend it if you're up and coming and you're starting and you want to buy a mirrorless camera. I think if you're a seasoned pro, don't bother, get something else. That's it for this week's video. I just wanted to make something on the Canon EOS RP and just touch on why I don't like it so much. But now you know. So see you all in the next one. And as I always say, see the world, capture life. Peace.